This little video is intended to show how easy it is to capture land traces using Wireshark. Where there's a TID out at novell.com/support. The TID number is 389-2415, and we can go to that just so I can show it to you. It's entitled How to Use Wireshark to Capture a Packet Trace, and there's a lot of words here. It might make it look like it's a complicated process, but so we decided to do this little video to show how easy it is. First thing you have to do is decide where it is that you want to capture your data. From what perspective do you want to see the conversation between multiple devices? Once you've decided that, you can go to wireshark.org and to the download page and select your OS to get the appropriate installation package downloaded and installed on your system. Once it's installed, we'll be using the first 4 buttons on the button bar in Wireshark. The blue fin to start, the red square to stop, the green shark fin with a curling arrow to restart, and the black circle with the gear to configure. Let's just give that a try. Here's my Wireshark installed. Here's the icon to launch it, and when I launch it, this is what it looks like. Down here is my interfaces, my list of interfaces, and on this particular machine I just have a local area connection interface, and you can see a little graph being drawn next to it to show that there is actually data being seen on that particular interface. Nothing's being captured at this point. If I click on that, I've now selected that interface, and my blue Start Capturing Packets button has become ready to use, become active. It's now blue. It was gray before I clicked on that. If I just click on this blue button, I'm capturing data. This data is what is going through that local area interface network card, and it's being captured and being displayed here, but it's not being saved anywhere. You can use this red button to stop the capturing, and at this point everything that you've captured is just in a memory buffer, and you can look it over and decide if it's the kind of data that you want to be seeing. Maybe you can even troubleshoot your problem with the amount of data that was captured and be done with it and never save it. But if you wanted to save it, you would do File, and you can either do Save, Save As, or Close. I'll just do Save As here. In my Captures folder, I can give it a name. Let's just call it Demo, and it's going to be of type PCAP-NG, and I'll hit Save. Now that file is saved for future reference, or to send to support or the networking team or wherever it needs to go. That's as easy as it is. We've just captured our first land trace, and we've seen that the data is displayed live, and we can save it for later reference. I'm going to show one more thing in this short video, and that's how to configure Wireshark to capture multiple files in a ring buffer. Sometimes it takes a long time to duplicate an issue, and you don't want to fill up your hard drive, and so the best thing to do in that case is to run Wireshark and run a capture in a ring buffer, and it begins capturing in file 1, then moves to file 2, then 3, and when it gets to the end of the number of files that you've configured to capture, it'll go back to the beginning and start overwriting file 1. In this way, you can have a buffer of data that covers a period of time that will allow you to be notified that the problem has happened, so that you can go stop Wireshark, and you'll know that somewhere in that ring of files is your data. This ring may need to be running for days or weeks in order to capture the data that you need to capture, and yet it will only show that period of time that you've configured it to capture in those files. To do this, we would click on the black circle with the gear in it, click on the Output tab, and under Capture a Permanent File, give the files and path a name. This slide here is just for later reference as you're watching the video. If you want to come back to this slide, you can. Let's just go give it a shot and show how it works. That's the beauty of this video. So we'll do capture options, and we'll go to the Output tab, and we'll give this thing a name, and this one's going to be ring buffer. So if I could type, there we go. We've got a ring buffer file, but I didn't say where it was going to be. The captures folders is fine. Let me do this. No. Captures. Ring buffer. Did it again. Save. So now we have a file name that we're going to start our buffer with. We're going to say create a new file automatically after a certain number of kilobytes, megabytes, or gigabytes. So each file will be this size. I'm going to leave it at kilobytes for this demo and leave it at 1 kilobyte, but you would typically probably do something like 100 megabyte. Then we're going to say use ring buffer, and we're going to capture 3 files, for example, and hit start. Now at this point we're capturing data, and it's being written to the files as we defined it. You'll notice that the numbers are starting over, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it starts over again. If we go back to this capture folder, we can see that we have files being captured here in a ring. You can see these numbers changing. That's such a small amount of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 files going on. So in this way we can be capturing for days and weeks and however long we want to, and not overwrite, not fill up our disk. And that's how to capture in a ring buffer. So we've talked about deciding where to capture from, downloading Wireshark and getting it installed on your particular operating system, and Wireshark provides it for multiple operating systems, and how to use the start, stop, restart, and configure buttons to capture a LAN trace or capture in a ring buffer. So happy capturing.